So good afternoon all. You can switch on your cameras, all the participants. आप सब लोग अपने अपने कैमराज ऑन कर लीजिए, तो उससे क्या होगा कि देयर वुड बी अ बेटर कॉन्वर्सेशन एंड क्योंकि दिस सेशन इज गोइंग टू बी स्पेशल special in terms of because something that I want to share before starting this session, and that's why I take 1 minute before I started the session. Ki this online thing is quite new to us, because earlier, if you know, that before Corona, nobody does know about this online yoga, and and before that we were just doing the offline classes and all, and this is something new, and this is started after Corona only. Hello, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. So I request everyone, switch on your cameras. Sari, everyone switch on, the Manvi, Avni, Kajal, everyone, please switch on your cameras. That's very important कि हम लोग अपने cameras को on रखें. And before starting this session, I would like to mention, as I was on mute, I didn't realize that. And because we have started this, during Corona pandemic. And before that, there was no scope of online yoga classes. कोई सोच भी नहीं सकता था कि कभी भी, online classes भी हो सकती हैं, because we never opted this kind of option. So what I'm trying to say, कि this is still a very unexplored field, कि what exactly, how we conduct the class and all those sort of things. I think जब हम सब ने अपनी journey start की होगी, especially you people, because as a trainer, कि पता नहीं था कि कैमरे का एंगल कैसे रखना है, कितना डिस्टेंस पे रखना है, आवाज आ रही है कि नहीं आ रही है, और हम लोगों को लोग अच्छे से देख रहे हैं कि नहीं, हमारे इंस्ट्रक्शंस वर प्रॉपर और नॉट. दिस ऑल वी हैव एक्सप्लोर्ड इन दिस 2.5 years, and I think because most of the trainer with us from very long time, and I have seen their transition from the day when they started their session and now, and the way now they are conducting their sessions completely changed, because this is something we still exploring. So in this only, we thought to start something new. And so earlier, Madam Shrupa, she's first of all our client, and then she got in touch with me and said, Ki, why can't we have some kind of sessions for our trainers? And I thought, why not? And this way, this thought make us to bring it us on here. So shall we start, ma'am?
Of course.
Yeah.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Others can be unmute themselves. So, we want an interaction. It's not like the yoga class where we are all on mute and you speak. So this will be an interactive class, because that's how we will learn from each other. So let's start. And thank you. So I'm an HR professional. I have my own HR consultancy. We do a lot of work, people-related work. Part of our job is also training. And so that's where, I'm coming from. And when we talk about adult learning, or it's not that I know more than you, it is always that I learn from you, you learn from me. And that's how it works. So now let's start with a simple question. Who are you? In the context of our discussion today, who are you? In terms of what you do as your profession. Speak up, please.
Yeah.
Everyone is on mute.
Bhavani? Yes, they can unmute themselves. Yes, Bhavani, please answer this question, that who are you, in terms of what madam is asking.
I'm not getting it properly what she's trying to ask. Like, who are we in terms of what we are doing, what we are
Yes.
serving, or okay.
With
So
whatever comes to
basically,
your.
yes. So basically, I will talk about myself only, and I'll allow others to talk about themselves. So yes, I'm a professional yoga instructor, and I'm teaching. I'm learning. I'm still learning yoga. I will not say that I am a perfectionist. I will learn, I think, till my 80s or 90s. So yes, I'm learning and I'm teaching side by side. I learned yoga from my grandfather when I was, I think, 10 years old. I started my yoga journey then. But at that time, yoga for me was just asanas and how to be very flexible, how to do this, how to do that. But then as I grew up, I understood the actual meaning of yoga. And then I understood it by myself. And then I'm taking it forward and trying to make every client understand that yoga is not just asana or weight loss program or weight gain program. It's just way beyond that, and everyone should understand this. Then only we will be able to give the message of yoga to everyone. So yes, I'm doing this
Thank
for
you.
now.
Thank you.
Okay,
You
okay,
have given the
Srivata.
perfect answer. And so let's say all of us are yogis. In whatever stage we are all yogis. So, and you have said a lot of this, what I'm going to say. These are quotes about yoga, which basically tells us what Bhamini was talking about. It's an internal practice. It's the quietening of the mind. It is more about self-acceptance than self-improvement. It is not about reaching the end posture. It is about the journey. And letting go is the hardest asana. So, you know, uh, so what is the objective of today's session? Anyone other than Bhamini? What do you think? You will have some expectation when you were asked to join on a Saturday afternoon, leaving aside whatever you have to do. So what was the first thought, Time barbad, kya hoga? Or,
No, Sri Rupaji. What I came here with the expectation that today we might learn something new, as DVG told all of us that we would be like enhancing our soft skills here. So yeah, we are here to learn.
okay, so objective of today's session is to, you know, uh, maybe improve our craft. So our craft is teaching. Our craft is yoga. I can't teach you yoga. You are the experts. But I can talk about how do you improve your craft of teaching. That's the objective. So just to set expectations, today's agenda, we're doing the context setting now. So why are we here? What is yoga? What is the framework within which we are operating that we are discussing? We'll talk a little bit about communication. Then we'll talk about online communication. We'll talk about do's and don'ts and tips and suggestions. And all of you are free to stop me whenever you have a question. You don't have to wait till I end whatever I'm saying. You can just stop me and get anything clarified. So any questions about the agenda?
I think agenda is quite clear to us now.
Great. So why do you think it is important to give an agenda at the beginning of anything? And this will also relate to your class. And I've seen
So
some
that
of you do it
everyone
very effectively.
everyone gets a good clarity about what we are teaching and what we are about to teach, or people should understand कि किस दिशा में हम जाने वाले हैं, तो वो दिशा बहुत clear होना चाहिए.
Correct. So that we know, okay, today we are working on our core, today we are working on our maybe balancing, whatever it is. So it's an expectation setting, and people know, okay, whatever we are doing actually is helping me in that direction. So it is important, and many of you do it very effectively. Beginning of the class, you say, this is what we are going to do. Some of you say it a day before as well. So I think it's important because for people to know why they are doing what they are doing is very important. So now all of you are experts in your fields. All of you are adults. And all of you have experience in teaching. So then how can I tell you something which you don't know? How is it possible?
Hi, Shri Rupa ji, I heard that I even saw you in my class, I think. So yeah, so I think you are a client also, and your perspective towards us, like you have seen us, so you can better project ourselves here, right? कि क्या improve कर सकते हैं हम और क्या scope है और जो और ज़्यादा better हम teach कर पाएं.
Yeah, that's one perspective. Thank you for that, Jilly. So, of course, I joined this class because of the flexibility, because my time is very erratic. Some days I'm free in the morning, some days I'm free in the evening. Sometimes I have to start the day very early, but I get free by 11 o'clock. So I join an 11 o'clock class. So this, format is very helpful for me. And so I have attended, I think many of you have attended your classes. Bhamini, I definitely attended your class yesterday, I think. Today I attended Anjali, your class. So, so I've attended many of your classes. So that's one perspective, of course. The other perspective is how adults learn. So let's understand that. And that is applicable for all of you today. And that is also applicable for us when we are in the class. So, adults are self-directed learners. What does that mean? I have sought you out and I have come and joined your class. It is not like a school where it is mandatory and I have gone to the school. It is something where I'm coming of my own volition because I think that this will be beneficial for me. Now, when I am there, so how does a child learn? When you ask a child to jump, a child will jump. Because he or she is not aware what are the dangers of jumping. You ask an adult to jump, he will not jump. Because all the past experiences that we have gathered, it, sort of stops us follow instructions like a child. We don't follow instructions. There are a lot of thoughts in our head which comes. ये करेंगे तो ये होगा, ये तो उनके लिए आसान है, मैं कैसे करूं, हाँ, ये तो possible ही नहीं है. There are thousands of things which goes in our mind. Then, there are thoughts like, अच्छा आज क्या खाना पकाएंगे, आज office में क्या करना है. There are a lot of things which are happening around us, and it's sort of, we are sort of drawing from that. Now, why have I joined this class? Because I'm focused on achieving specific goals. My goal can be different from someone else in the class, but each of the participants have a specific goal. Someone, as you said, Bhavini, that yoga is not about losing weight, but someone might have joined the class for losing weight. वो उनका goal है. And there is no clash with that. Someone wants more flexibility. Someone thinks that, it's the in thing to do. There can be different goals. And we are not going whether the goal is right or wrong. But every adult, whenever they are in a class, whenever they're learning something, they have an end objective and a goal. And they take in only information which is relevant to them. If I think it is not relevant, I will not take it. It is as simple as that. So, okay, let me complete this and we'll see how this relates to us. Then adults appreciate practical, applicable knowledge, which means, see, knowledge to Google se bhi mil jata hai. You want to see how a particular asana is done, you go to Google, you check, you will get the information. That is knowledge. But when a person is joining a class, he is not only looking at the knowledge, she is looking at the practical application and how do I improve my skills. That can be through practice, it can be through tips that you are giving, it can be through the sequencing that you are doing, it can be many things. But in a class, if I just read out list of things or, information, no adult can read it. Because information in today's world is available plenty. You can get it anywhere if you seek information. But we are not seeking information. We are seeking actionable insights. जो हम करके दिखा सकते हैं, practice कर सकते हैं. And what adults look for is guidance and mentorship. Because when I'm watching a video, I'm not getting mentorship. But if someone is in a class, they're getting mentorship. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is why this is important and why this is part of the context setting is because if we understand these principles, many of that what we will talk about later, you will see how it relates to this. But any questions so far on adult learning? So have you understood that adult learning is different from how a child learns? Yes, no. I want everyone to speak.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am, you are right.
Yes, yes.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you. So we all of us understand that it's slightly different, and each of us as students, we also apply the same principles. And when we are teaching, our students will apply the same principles. Okay. Now we move on to communication. What do you understand by communication? Any idea? What is communication? Are we communicating now?
yes, Shilpa ji. Communication basically is a process where we share our ideas with others in an understandable way. Like जो हम बोलना चाह रहे हैं दूसरे को समझ आ रहे हैं, is they are getting it or not, और उनसे आपस में वही कि मतलब जो उनका thoughts होगा फिर वो हमें बताएंगे.
So that is very important. Thank you. So what I am saying and what the other person is understanding, when that is the same, then we say we have communicated. If I say go towards the right and the person understands that I have to go towards the left, then the communication, then it is not a communication. Okay, let's look at a diagram. In communication, there is someone who is a sender. that person is sending a message. Now, how am I sending a message? I can type it and send. I can think in my head that this is what I have to say and speak it out loud. So I'm encoding either in terms of a drafted message or in terms of what I'm going to speak out. And there's a media through which that goes out. That media can be my voice, media can be my typing, media can be sometimes eyes also when I'm saying, or, my body also. I can say this, which means come, right? So we use different media. In our classes, we use the digital media. And then finally, we have a receiver, the person who's receiving the message. And there's something called noise. And like you said, there is a feedback which goes back to the sender. In between, there's a lot of noise. And this noise distorts the message that goes to the receiver. So what are these noises? So in a class, you are the sender because you are passing on the instruction. We are the receiver because we are in the class. We are receiving instructions from you. And the media is Zoom, the digital media. And what is the noise? The noise is my experience. The noise is my mood. The noise is my environment. So I'm in my head, there's a lot of thoughts which are going on. I can be distracted when you're speaking. I'm not listening to you. Or when you're showing on the screen, I might be looking at my door. So there's whenever the information is being exchanged, there's a lot of noise which is happening all around. Even when you're saying, sometimes when you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, you will notice that, you have, in one side you have done 14, in one side you have done 12. It happens to all of us because there's a lot of thing going on. While you are counting, you're also looking at and seeing if everybody is doing it properly, or you are thinking of iske baad kya karna hai. So your mind is clouded. Similarly, when we are receiving the information, our mind is clouded. There's a lot of noise which is happening, noise of chatter that is happening. So we have to communicate in a way, understanding there's a lot of chatter. And how do I manage this chatter so that the information passes on very smoothly? That's the objective in this entire communication exercise. Now, as I said, the media is Zoom. Now we communicate through our 5 senses. See, hear, touch, smell, taste. Now touch, smell and taste to idhar hai nahi. We only have 2 medium through which we communicate. We either see or we hear. Is there anything else? Hai kuch aur? Let's now see how do we communicate. I will give you some instructions either on the screen or verbally, and you have to follow it. No one is following the instruction.
This is zebra painting.
Okay. At least someone answered. Okay, my next instruction, touch your toes. 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 So what is happening here? Which instruction is easy to follow? Avni, I have not heard you speak. Which one was easier to follow? I give
Second one.
I think,
4
I think
instructions.
it's easy to follow, yeah.
The first instruction was only visual. We only used eyes. The second instruction was only verbal. I said touch your toes. Third instruction was both verbal and visual. And the fourth instruction was contradictory. I asked you to touch your toes, and the instruction here said clap. So we have 2 medium available. But see, the mind can easily process one. Whenever there are 2 instructions, mind automatically tilts towards one. And if they're contradictory, then it is even more confusing. So now tell me, which one of this is, for you? Which one would you prefer? We're talking about this 2 medium only, seeing and hearing.
I think hearing one is more intriguing than the visuals because personally, when we practice yoga, karte we I have seen some participants though they don't see on screen. They just follow along with the instructions which I say. So I think the hearing one is more intriguing than the visuals.
Yes. So one thing we have to understand that when we're using a screen, the screen is on one side of us. Now we are facing it, we can see it. But when you're in the action, even when you're lying down, you're not seeing the screen. When you are in a posture, many cases you don't see the screen. But when it is something complicated and when the verbal instruction is not clear, people will stop and look at the screen. It happens, which means that I cannot rely on my hearing, either because I'm not being able to hear, I'm not being able to understand, or the instructions are not clear. So the reason, of course, is that as human beings, though we multitask, we actually process one information. We can't. The brain is not capable of processing multiple instructions together. It flits between 2 mediums very quickly. So, idhar se idhar ja raha hai. Quickly, it goes so quickly that we don't understand. But at any point in time, it just processes one instruction. So, to summarize, we can say that if the verbal instruction is very lucid, very clear. We don't rely on our visual inputs. However, sometimes it is not possible because of technical glitches, not hearing, sound low, whatever, or it is too complicated. That's our fallback option. It might differ from person to person. Some people may be more visual and they would depend on more, visual inputs. That's also possible. Now let's see, what are we as teachers trying to do? We're trying to do 4 different things. What are the 4 different things that we are trying to do? Can anyone tell me?
Kajal?
Yes, Kajal.
So, ma'am, we are teaching, we are giving them communication, and we are giving them knowledge also. And also, we have to give them comfort zone. And that is very important, to give a participant a comfort zone, because obviously if you are not, they are not comfortable with your sessions, so I don't think so they want to join your sessions, and they will not able to understand if your communication is not good.
Great. Which I think you quite successfully give us. But that apart, my question is more in terms of physical things that we do. What are the 4 things we do when we are, as a teacher, what are the 4 things that you do?
Manvi?
Sorry?
I asked Manvi to answer this query.
Manvi. Okay, let
In
me
physical
answer.
term only.
Sorry, yeah, in physical terms. In physical terms.
Your
Are we
body
listening?
language.
Okay, so let me answer this question. So this is a hint.
Yeah.
We are talking, we are counting, we are holding the posture, we are seeing. There are 4 things this is happening. Maybe not always all together, but 4 things. You are trying to look at the students, how they are doing it. You're giving instructions, you're counting, and you yourself are in the posture. Is it possible to do all these 4 things together?
Sometimes when the postures are easy, but sometimes not, when we have to pay very much attention to the students and clients. So yes, not possible every time.
Not possible every time, and I don't think giving instructions and counting together is ever possible. And I always see this getting mixed up for everyone.
But counting is a part of the instructions only.
So if we slightly segregate it, counting is also when you're counting 10. 1, 2, 3. शिरूपा जी आपका राइट हैंड ऊपर जाएगा, उसके बाद आप बोल रहे हो कि 7, 8, तो आप दोनों एक साथ करने की कोशिश कर रहे हो, तो उसमें कंफ्यूजन होगा. And not that everything we can find a solution to. I'm just saying, what are the things that happen. Now, there are limitations of certain media, and we have to live with those limitations. But what I'm trying to bring before is that we have to choose, we have to conscious that ye charo we need to do. So for each of this, and practically it is not possible to do more than 2 in a very efficient way. So which 2 are we choosing? And it can be different for different, at different points in time. So when I'm giving a demo, maybe I am doing the action and I'm also saying, bring your right hand on top, or, put 2 feet distance between your legs, and you're also doing it. So this can go very well. Now, Seeing and counting may go very well. Or action and counting can go very well. But action, speaking, counting may not go very well. So I'm just making you conscious that there are 4 things which happens, and we have to be conscious that what are we choosing. If we choose multiple things, then there is a confusion which happens. And there's no right or wrong answer. For you, something might work. For someone else, something else might work. सबका अपना style होता है. And people choose their style according to what is more comfortable. So see and guide, instruct, count, demonstrate. These are the 4 things I will do. So now we come to, we also said that most probably the verbal instruction is more important. So then what are the things we should keep in mind on the verbal instruction? See what happens. We are saying concise, meaning anything which can be said in 10 words and can be said in 2 words, choose 2 words. Why? Because when we speak in a sentence, when we are sitting down and listening to someone, we are also looking at the lips and we follow the lip movement. We put our full concentration and listen. So we are more receptive. But in a virtual media, I'm not always looking at the lips. I'm also trying to do some postures. So my attention is not fully there. What also happens is whenever there is a full sentence, our tones change, our pitch changes, words roll into each other. तो एक word के ऊपर एक word आ जाती है, तो then we can't differentiate. So, for an example, when we say, please take a deep breath in, compared to breathe in, ये sense same ही जा रहा है. But through the tone and the elongation, we are saying that continue the breathing. So the second one is easier to follow. Sometimes, so whenever you are thinking about a class, think about, how do I shorten my instructions and make it very crisp. एक word alag-alag. So that the person, because see, the person is not in front of you. The person is listening to you through bad connectivity, maybe a bad instrument, and after doing a lot of things. तो ये जो concise, जितना छोटा हो सकता है, it is very important. What is the second thing? Clear. Instructions clear होना चाहिए. So, see, I understand that everyone will not know the names of the asanas because many of them are doing it for the first time. But each time, if we say the name of the asana, people will also get educated. So for some, they don't need to listen because you have named the asana, they know exactly what has to be done. Now they will listen to the subtler part of the conversation, which is, the first, how does the brain work? The brain says, Acha, I have to sit now. I have to put my hands upper or wherever, side. But if I know I have to do that, then I'm listening to an instruction on breathing, or I'm listening to an instruction on how do I improve the posture. So, ये expectation setting जब हो जाती है ना, then it becomes easier for people to follow the nuances of your instructions. Now let's do a small practice. Sorry, I can't read this name. This is Adnai Ankita. Please
Yes, ma'am.
tell me your. Okay.
It's
Why
Adnaikita.
don't okay, Adnaikita.
Call me
Okay.
Adnya. It's okay.
Adnya. Okay. Adnya, so give us an instruction for doing Parvatasana. We are all listening.
We all coming in tabletop position. Make sure your wrist and your shoulders are in line. Your knees and your hips are in line. From here, you will be keeping your both the feet together. Inhale, lift your both the knees and then your hips up. Try to gaze in between your toes, or you can gaze towards your belly. Try to take your chest down.
Is this Parvatasana?
Yeah.
Everyone agrees? Family?
There are two Parvatasanas actually. Which one you are asking? She should ask that first and then she should answer.
Okay. So, Bhamini, if you could give us a demonstration of the second one.
Basically, second one is the seated Parvatasana, which we usually do in Ardha Padmasan, Swastikasana, or we can choose any meditative pose. People are usually more familiar with Vajrasana and Sukhasana, so I usually tell them to practice in that only. So yes, in Sukhasana, then we'll be joining the palms together and then we have to press the palms against each other. So much pressure should be there that we can feel the pressure in the neck region, shoulder region, and the chest region. And then very, very slowly counting the breaths, we will take our hands up, we will place it on our head. And then again, very gently inhaling, arms will go more up. We will not shrug the shoulders. We'll make sure the shoulders are not touching the ears because it will create the cervical tension. And then, yes, we'll maintain over here, stretching our spine up, stretching the shoulders, stretching the arms, and stretching the abdominal region.
Fantastic. So, I think the first one was also good. So when we give instructions, we have to be mindful of every step. We say that sit in a comfortable position. I'm just making this up, may not be something. Put your hands on your side so that the palms face upwards. Bring your hands together in a namaste over the top of your head. Imagine a rope is pulling your crown. I gave similar instruction. I used much less words. So I'm also using the concise with the clear. Both of you were very clear. But I'm also using the concise thing with me. Okay, so clear instruction is very important, which doesn't have any ambiguity. Ambiguity is when we say, put your hands on the side. Now I can put my hands this way. I can put my palms down, palms up. This is also my side. One can be on the top, one can be at the bottom. Right? So instructions should not be ambiguous. It should have only one answer. That's how we should give instructions. And most of you do it. It's not that you don't do it. I'm just, because I'm, breaking it down into things, I'm just giving these examples. Okay, so we did. The other thing is pace, speed at which we speak. We don't want to go like an aeroplane. We want to go like a dog. Have you seen a dog? Sometimes it goes very fast, then it'll stand, look this way, that way, see what is happening, and then go. So the pace always has to be adjusted. If you're doing maybe Surya Namaskar and you want to have a pace, that's fine. But when we are speaking, the pace is very important because the faster we speak, the more difficult it is to understand. So we have to control that. Lastly, volume. See what happens, and this happens with everyone, and it's a very common thing. See what happens is when we are going into a relaxing pose, everyone's volume drops because that's the mood. Because when you're relaxing, you're not shouting, you're not speaking at the top of your voice. But what happens? A person is lying in Shavasana, eyes are closed, not looking at the screen, and big sentences in a low volume. Nothing goes inside, believe me, nothing. We just do it on instinct. Koi sound aaya, matlab, okay, we are being asked to move out of the posture. You're doing Brahmari. It is not possible to hear. Because the very fact is you're, closing your ears. So then for Brahmari, the instruction should be, each of you should practice 3 rounds of Brahmari. And as a teacher, I will wait for everyone to stop, and then if I do a counting there, it doesn't help anyone. Similarly, for Savasana or any relaxing pose, we have to be mindful that the voice drops. Now, when the voice drops, of course, it is with the mood, and we can't be shouting. But then we have to be more mindful that small words which are distinct. That's how we have to give. And the volume, see what also happens is when we are very excited, our volume increases. Pitch increases. So we are in a higher pitch. Higher pitch is always difficult to understand. So to be conscious about these things, and I'm not saying you are doing it. I'm just saying that sometimes it happens. So if you're conscious about these things, then we can control it much better. This is what I was saying, that whenever we're excited, we talk fast, and we also increase the pitch of our voice, which is difficult to understand. Now, if I come back and ask you again, what is your profession? What will you say? Anything that comes to your mind. No right or wrong answers. For someone, it can be, I'm a student of yoga. For someone, I'm a teacher of yoga. For someone, I'm a teacher. For someone, I'm a practitioner. It can be anything. It is how you define and how you want to be. But there has to be a differentiating factor. All of you have something which is unique, right? Bhamini has a style, Adnya has a style, Anjali has a style. Everyone has a style which is unique to you. Are you aware of your style? Are you conscious of your style? And there is no style which is better than the others. It is possible that I align more to one style or I align to someone else. That is possible. But I don't think there's anything right or wrong about the styles. The only thing is, if you're mindful of what we talked about, and we create our unique identity, it is easy for people to align to us. If we try to be, yes, please.
I wanted to say one thing. Usually, whenever, see, everyone has their own unique style, and what happens is the clients are so confused with our all styles that then, if, for example, if one is attending Manvi's class and if they will come to my class, they will be like, no, Manvi ma'am used to teach us like that. तो ये clarity clients को भी होना चाहिए rather than just us. I think clients को ये education होना ज्यादा जरूरी है कि सबका टीचर का अपना स्टाइल है और ये चीज उनको समझनी पड़ेगी क्योंकि वो समझते नहीं एंड देन दे स्टार्ट कंपेयरिंग एंड देन द थिंग्स गो रियली बैड.
So I think there are two parts to it. And I agree with you that clients should also understand that these are two human beings. Like I loved my history teacher, but I didn't like my geography teacher. Here also it will happen. I align to someone more. But I think there are certain basic things. If under the same umbrella is different, then it creates confusion. I'll give you an example. Let's say we are doing Surya Namaskar. If someone is doing right and left, and someone does right, left, or whatever, then it is confusing for the student. And not everyone is mature to understand that both are right. The more new you are to the practice, the more you don't understand how vast the subject is and how different it can be. And without compromising the principles, you can also be right in your own way. ये तो knowledge की बात है ना. If that knowledge is not there, then people will get confused because people want clear instructions. And if I'm learning swimming, my instructor tells me कि you're doing freestyle, तो आप 4 stroke के बाद right side, turn your face to the right and breathe. Someone says after every stroke, you breathe. It is confusing for a student. So it works both ways. Style is same. Someone will have a slower pace. Someone will have a different construct of the class. I think people understand. But ये जो basic instruction होती है ना, उसमें थोड़ा ज़्यादा फर्क जब हो जाता है, then people are confused and they don't know. So then, was Bhamini right or was Atmiya right? Or maybe I have seen a YouTube video where Manvi's thing was being followed. So Manvi का ही ठीक होगा. Then she's not a good teacher. ये feeling भी होती है ना? So how do you counter that then? How do you counter that? You can always say that, see, there are various ways of doing it. I do it. Some of your teachers in the Surya Namaskar do a plank. Some of you don't. I don't have a problem. I'm equally comfortable with both. But someone may have a problem because someone is thinking, अरे ये step तो miss हो गया. नहीं तो ये step कहाँ से आ गया? So I think, see, it's not fair for me to comment on this. As an organization, you need to decide what are the things which should be common and what are the things which should be different. And if they're different, how do you tackle with it? This is not my subject because it's how you build your brand and how do you put it together. But as a student, ये confusion होता है that I can share. And like you have also seen कि ये confusion होता है.
I think, Shri Rupaji, there are so many different styles of Surya Namaskara, and everybody is associated with some particular one. Like some do the traditional Hatha Surya Namaskar, some do Ashtanga one, some do Shivananda one. So no one is wrong here, right? And that
That's
can
what
be
I
told in
said.
a class. Yeah, that can be told in a class. There's nothing is wrong and right here. right? Everyone has their own style, and everything which we are making students to do is a correct way. There is nothing wrong, not in the other
But I
instructor,
think
not.
this is
Yes.
very controversial actually, Surupa ji, the Surya Namaskar, because we also used to get a lot of calls from the client ki ma'am वो तो ऐसा कर रही थी, वो वैसा कर रही थी. So इसका एक I think एक basic है कि what we can do, you know, जैसे हम शिवानंदा सूर्य नमस्कार करते तो उसके steps थोड़े से varies हैं. So हम उसको एक when we starting the सूर्य नमस्कार, every teacher say कि we are doing सूर्य, but हमें उसको I think थोड़ा सा specific बना के कि we are doing the basic hatha yoga. So I think the question will cross there also when we are very specific with the what kind of you know Surya Namaskar today we are going to. Ab Surya Namaskar में भी variations है. There is a you know there are a lot of variations in the Surya Namaskar itself. उसके भी अपने अपने हैं. So वो थोड़ा सा उसको या हम ये कह सकते हैं कि this is a basic Surya Namaskar. हाँ उसमें वो जरूर है कि what you have said कि एक plank hold करता है, एक पैर को नीचे गिराता है, वो difference है. And we also encounter these questions to our clients. हमें आते हैं, we respond them कि nothing is wrong and right. It's just a way that, but only the specific is that कि हमें उस time पे we have to be very specific that what kind of Surya Namaskar we are going to perform today.
I think, see, the point is when people come up with a question, it is easier to deal with.
Correct.
Because then you can give an answer. And you have a chance to justify what you are doing and why you are doing it. But 90% of the time, people don't ask questions. They will form an opinion and they will go out. मुश्किल उधर होता है. So that is why, as an organization, you have to decide which is the one you want to follow. I'm not saying one style. I'm saying how you want to communicate this is what you have to decide.
Correct. That's true.
So, you know, I'm coming to a very important point that why would a student come to your class and not follow a video? आप शिवानंद की नाम लिए ना, उनका सीरीज है. That series 1, series 2, series 3, sequential asanas होती है. So why will I come to your class and not do that? Do you have an answer to that question?
Yeah.
No, I'm asking him. Because you should be ready with that answer. That answer will actually help you differentiate yourself. I can give you an
Kajal, can you
answer.
answer the, yeah, Kajal, can you give me the answer of this?
Kajal has fallen asleep, I think.
No,
No, ma'am,
she's
I'm
there.
here, but I don't have
She's
any
there.
answer right now.
So you were talking about the series in which a person is performing the asana and there's no correction going on side by side, right?
No, no.
So,
The point is that why the people come to you. It's not about one particular asana or the ma'am has taken a name of Shivananda, and why they are coming to us. Why they are not following any video sort of. What is the difference that we are making as a you know trainer or organization? I would say, right, ma'am? Is that the question?
yes, my question is, see, this is available free on the net.
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh? Why should someone pay additional? तो उनको कुछ तो चाहिए
Right.
ना extra उसके ऊपर. So what is that extra? You need to define that.
What happens in one-to-one class when we do a live class, that we have a live interaction, right? In a video, one can't be guided by the instructor. अगर वो कोई आसन गलत करता है, वो गलत ही करेगा. वहां पे हम उसे देख नहीं सकते हैं कि हाँ यहाँ पे ये चीज गलत हो रही है, and we can point it out, please do it correctly or do it that way. That is a major thing which goes on with the follow-up video and with the live interactive class, right? And दूसरी चीज है, you can always have questions which you have in a mind to the instructor. Like कोई भी अगर आपके mind में question arise हुआ बाद में कि इससे related कि इसका क्या benefit हो सकता है, कोई you will get an add-on benefits, not even just the class. उसके बाद आपको क्या और भी चीजें जो भी पूछनी है क्लास से related और आसनों से related, वो भी आप पूछ सकते हैं. You can have a feedback session too.
Great. So I was coming to that. So people, the point of the question is that people come to a class because they want to be guided. We talked about adult learning principles. They want a mentor and a guidance. So when we say that there were 4 things we have to do, we have to see, we have to perform the asana, we have to instruct, and we have to count. So that seeing part becomes very important. Following what the students are doing and giving that feedback becomes very important. Few of you I have seen continuously do the asanas. You don't look at the students. So I'm just making you conscious that the person is coming to your class because of that small correction or that small tip. तो उसमें थोड़ा ध्यान देना पड़ेगा. So that is one thing that I wanted to bring about. Now let's go to I think we are also, yes, time-wise we are reached 1 hour. So I don't think I'll take more than 10 minutes now, unless you have questions. So, some of the other tips that are there is setting expectations about the class, which we talked about earlier, about the asana, about the counts. About the asanas, like we talked about Surya Namaskar, that there are many schools of thought. I follow this, and this is how we'll do it. So it also sets expectation. It also kills the unasked questions. Whether this is right, whether this is wrong, whether this is, अरे उसको पता नहीं है, वो सब नहीं आएगा फिर. And counts also. See, suppose you're counting 10 for each of the asanas, suddenly you want to go to 20. Normally, 10 के बाद लोग posture छोड़ देते हैं. Because that expectation is not set. So it is always, whenever you are changing the whole duration, it is always better to set that expectation. That we will do Surya Namaskar. In the last set, we will do with holding. Example, I'm just giving an example. Maybe you don't do it, but I'm just saying. Or we say that we will do this with a increased hold. And once a person has left the posture now, it takes at least 5 counts to go back to that posture. So, to benefit what you wanted, it's lost. Demonstrate before starting. Some of you use a very nice technique. What the person does is, so if it's a complicated posture, then the count starts. And they highlight one of the students who is doing it correctly. So if I want to refer to how it is being done, it is there on the screen, but the teacher is concentrating on the students, on how they are performing or how they are holding the posture. I have forgotten who uses it, but it's a very effective way of doing it. Because the moment you continue to do the asanas, you're not seeing.
Yeah, Deepika does it that.
Huh? Who does?
Deepika.
I've forgotten.
Yeah, she does it.
Oh, possible. So that's one way. The other way is also, see, it's a Zoom medium. You can also record your things and show it on the screen. So one particular sequence you can record and you can play it and you can talk. Instructions you can give, you can see, look at the students. So online has many limitations, online has many advantages. How you want to use it is up to you. See, the moot point that I'm trying to bring out here is the job of looking at the students and correcting them or giving them feedback is equally, if not more important. So there you have to make time, make ways so that you have the window to do it. The other option which is available in Zoom is that you can put a timer on the screen, which means when you're counting, most of us lose track. So वो timer रहती है ना, then the counting becomes easy. You can try it, experiment it, and see if that works. And always, if it's a complicated thing, if you demonstrate before starting, it helps everyone. So then people can use both their eyes and the ears and then get into it. If it's complicated, if it's simple, it doesn't matter. Okay, so this I will skip. So any questions? Come to the end. Anything, any question? Any doubts?
No, Shri Rupaji, I don't have any question, but I had some insights like the timer thing which you told us about and the video that can be interactive too. So I think we can like experiment with that. Thank you for sharing.
Most welcome. Manvi, any questions?
No, ma'am.
I think, ma'am, this session is, where it turned out to be ki what exactly, the prospect from the client side and the trainer side, and what sort of pictures that they are making it, and how the, the clarity of the instruction is to be there, and why we have to be very precise while giving it, because the medium is something that we follow only two kind of sense that we are using it at present, and we always keep this thing in mind ki हमें लोग सिर्फ सुन रहे हैं एट प्रेजेंट ऑल्सो आप मुझे सुन रहे हैं या देख रहे हैं एनी वन थिंग यू आर डूइंग इट अगर मुझे देख रहे हैं तो हो सकता है मैं थोड़ी सुंदर लग रही हूँ बट मोस्टली बिकॉज आप सुनते ज़्यादा हैं सो वो इसलिए द क्लियरिटी ऑफ द इंस्ट्रक्शन इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट हियर and definitely how we can improve the scope of our practice and how we benefit others, because one thing which you told very correct ki why people are coming to us, they can see the video but they coming for certain expectation, and that we have to keep in mind that why we are here. That's what, and I think that's the first slide that we have started, who we are, and
True that. Thank you so much. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Shri Rupaji. It was
Thank
wonderful.
you, Shrupaji, and it's a
Thank you so
great
much.
session for us. And I think,
Thank you.
as I think हमने इसको record भी किया है just because of कि we can show it to those who have missed it due to any reasons, and it's a good way to understand the subject and get benefit. At least it gives us some kind of consciousness कि हम क्या
Yeah.
कर सकते हैं, else we can
So,
do. And yeah, even as a company, as a what else we can help to our trainers to perform their best, and whatever the best possible way we can do that. Yeah, thank you everyone,
great.
and I hope
Thank
you
you.
enjoyed that
Great
session. And
life and teaching. Next time I will
right.
be the student and you will be the teacher. So see you there.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you so much.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Thank you,
Bye
everyone.
bye. Have a good
Thank
day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a
Thank you so
good day.
much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.